Forget what you heard. Yeah, boy!
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Forget What You Heard. I'm Aaron.
And I'm Luke.
Down there in the dark. And on today's episode of Forget What You Heard, we're back to the Divisional previews, baby.
Yes, sir.
But before we dive into that, and boy howdy, it's going to be a good episode, good division, very interesting. There's something very important I need to hear. How you doing, Brother Barrick?
I'm doing good, man. I'm going to do this podcast from the toilet today. Hope that's okay with everybody. Happy to be here. Happy to share this time with you, Aaron, and with the people. And just looking forward to it, man. I love doing these divisionals. So far, so good. Especially this one. You know, this one's interesting. Always hype around these teams. This division ain't always that good. This division is the worst in football. Well, we're going to dive into it, see what we got going on.
Yeah, before we get into the nitty-gritty, the details, I'd like to say the feeling is mutual, Luke, doing this podcast. But today's division is the NFC East, baby.
Yes, sir.
Some love it, some hate it. There's not a lot of in between. You either love it or hate it. I don't know. Do you love this division? Is this one of your favorites?
No, it's not. It's the NFC East.
It's very dull to me, yeah.
Yeah, just even the past few years. Pretty much since, as long as I can remember, it's really just been, the Cowboys. Washington made a run one year. And then when Andy Reid was in Philly, I think they won it 4 years in a row. So, kind of since that era, it's just been kind of,
Yeah, as of late, it's been pretty stink town, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but there's some few teams, heading in the right direction.
I think they're on the way up.
Yeah, I would agree with that as well.
All right, let's get right into it, man. Let's go to America's least favorite team. The Dallas Cowboys.
Ooh, okay.
When a cowboy trades his spurs for wings.
The Dallas Cowgirls.
You love to hate them, you hate to love them, man. I'll tell you what, the Dallas Cowboys. There's a few changes. I would say the Dallas Cowboys were the losers of the offseason.
Really?
Yeah, they lost their alpha male number one wide receiver in Amari Cooper. They lost Randy Gregory to the Denver Broncos. And they didn't make too many moves, man. They kind of stood pat on them, you know what I mean? But they kind of, the outlook is kind of the same for them. Maybe a borderline playoff team. My question to you about this Dallas Cowboys team, does the offense take a step back, or is it pretty much going to be one of the crazy offense we've seen in the past where they're, putting up numbers left and right?
That's a good question. That is a very good question. Obviously, they've lost a lot of key pieces, including Cooper, like you said. Michael Gallup looks like he'll miss a lot of time. But with that being said, with the addition of CeeDee Lamb, the addition of Jalen Tolbert, I think both of those guys are, really good receivers. I think CeeDee Lamb can take that next step. He can fill in that Amari Cooper role. And, even if we get, a better Zeke this year than last year, a healthy Zeke than last year, this team loves to run offense. I think they had the most plays in the NFL last year on offense. They're fast-paced. They're high-powered. I think ultimately this is an offensive-oriented team, and I do expect them to continue to be, one of them high flyers, better offenses in the league. I do believe that, yes.
Yeah, I've been hearing some reports that, maybe Zeke's the focal point.
Yeah,
They're not just going to be tossing the ball around the yard, like it's backyard football. But that's hard to believe considering, the faith they have in Dak. Kellen Moore, their offensive coordinator,
Yep.
is a very creative guy and loves to pass the ball. So that's kind of a report I don't know if I believe totally. What are some interesting things that you find about the Dallas Cowboys? What intrigues you about this team?
I think the most intriguing thing, I think you mentioned it already, just the loss of their key pieces on both sides, Gregory, Cooper, and some offensive line, just Connor Williams. And the only thing they did to address those needs were through the draft. I think it was 3 or 4 picks. They literally went out and drafted those positions to fill. So, yeah, you're banking on those draft picks to be good. And I think even if they are good, this team still declined because they're still not going to be those Amari Coopers and Randy Gregory's of the NFL. Those guys are, rarity to find those type of guys. So I do think they declined this offseason as a whole, and I think that's intriguing because this division makes it a little more competitive. If they revert back to the mean, Giants improve, Washington has a little improvement with the new quarterback, and then the Eagles, right there with the firepower as well. So
I don't know. I don't know if they reverted back or if they took a step back. I don't see how, really. They still have Dak.
Okay.
Same offensive coordinator. CD. Oh, this is the question. Is CD Lamb who we think he is? Can he be that number one alpha dog wide receiver? Because last year he started off like a bat out of hell. And then the last half of the year, I think he finished top 30 once. So in order for, the Cowboys to be kind of, status quo, I think CeeDee Lamb has to be there week in and week out and be that guy.
Yeah, I think he's capable of doing it. I do believe in his talent. I do believe that he can take on a bigger role. Can he be a true number one? Obviously, that's the question you're asking me. I'm not sure. He might just be a really good number two, if you ask me, but I do think he's going to put up numbers. I could see, obviously, I can see him getting over 1,000 yards, 7-8 touchdowns.
Who do you think the second leading receiver will be?
Dalton
You
Schultz.
mentioned Gallup. Oh, yeah. Dalton Schultz is a good one. I didn't even think about that. But you mentioned like Jalen Tolbert, the rookie from, South Alabama. Been showing out. They have a lot of faith in him. Yeah, Dalton Schultz. Yeah, that's an easy one. But like in terms of wide receivers, I know they brought in James Washington, but I think he's already hurt.
Yeah, he's hurt already. Number 2 is Jalen Tolbert, in my opinion. I'm a big believer in him. I liked him coming out of the draft. I thought Dallas was a perfect spot for him. And I believe in his talent. I think, in my opinion, he will be a really good possession receiver for them. He'll be reliable. And Cedric Wilson is another name they lost as well. Mm-hmm. And I guess it depends on how much time Gallup misses. But, if he's there for week 1 or week 2, I do expect him to be the number 2. But you mentioned Jalen Tolbert, and I think he could emerge to be that number 2 in this offense. Pass-happy offense, good fit. He's a good receiver.
What do you think about? What do you think their record will be?
9-8.
9-8?
Yep.
Jeez, I guess that's not too far off for me. That just sounds weird. 9-8.
Their projected win total is 10.4. They have a relatively easy strength of schedule. I think it's 7th. But the first few weeks aren't easy schedule.
I think the first 2 games is the Bucs and the Bengals, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's like the 2, the big test, and then I think it gets pretty easy.
Well, the first 6 games, in my opinion, are very tough. So those first 2 weeks are battles. In my opinion, I think they'll lose those 2 games. But then they play the Giants and they play Washington week 3 and 4, which maybe they can get back on track there. But then they play the Rams and then the Eagles, both away. So in my opinion, I think they're going to start out 2 and 4. due to a tough schedule against some superior teams. And then they have Detroit and Chicago right before their bye week, which are 2 winnable games. They should be heavily favored in those. And then coming out of the bye, they have the Packers, Minnesota, Colts, Philly again, Tennessee. It's just not as easy as we think. And I'm not a strong believer in this defense as a whole. I do like some names, obviously Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence, if we can see him play healthy, Trayvon Diggs. Those are some 3 big names. But outside of that, man, there's a lot of questions, a lot of average at best. And against those teams, you're going to have to show up on defense. And I think this team even last year might have overachieved defensively, at least getting turnovers.
Yeah, especially Diggs.
Diggs
was phenomenal.
It was basically the Parsons show, So if they revert back to being a below-average defense, and this offense having to do so much, against these teams, man, you're going to have to really battle it out.
You keep mentioning revert. I have a feeling, the Cowboys have been real quiet this offseason. There's not a lot of hype. Even their fans, which is the rarest thing I've ever heard, they've been kind of, tight-lipped. They're not letting anything out. That's what makes me think, like, I don't know, maybe this is like they have that kind of, some kind of special team going on,
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, I've still dealt with Cowboys fans still saying...
I mean, there's always... Cowboys fans are the most ridiculous, what would you say?
Outlandish.
Yeah, outlandish. I'm trying to think of a word, but I can't think of it.
Optimistic.
What's this, like, delusional.
Yeah.
Delusional fans. But they've seemed pretty tame this year. So it makes me think, like, I don't know, the hype's it's been real quiet. Jerry's kind of been real quiet. Like, it's just been real, not a lot of positive talk, which is new for me and you.
Are you saying that the less noise means the more work? Like they're putting in more work? Or?
I think that's it. Like they're just putting their heads down and, not letting a lot of hype into their team. And I think that's a good thing. I think this is a good thing, a good sign of things to come for the Cowboys.
You think that'll translate to more wins and a better team? Is that what you're trying to get at?
Well, have I said my record?
I
have them going 10-7.
Oh, you're right there.
Yeah, I don't have them as world beaters. I don't have, because you've used the word revert, and I believe that they're.
Well, when I say revert, I'm mostly talking about their defense, because I was mentioning their defense. I think they were 20th overall, but in years past they were 25, 30th in that range. And just looking at it, that's what I see, to be honest. Outside of those 3 names, it's like these teams aren't going to be able to handle Philly, the Rams, Cincinnati, Tampa Bay, Tennessee, Minnesota, Green Bay, Colts. I just don't see it like that. All those teams have good defenses. Your offense can only do so much. I understand you got Lamb, you got healthy Zeke, you have Dak, but even their offense lost weapons. Their offensive line isn't that great. So it's just, this team has flaws. Yes, there's not a lot of hype behind it because I think Cowboys fans are starting to become more realistic.
They're becoming aware.
Yeah, I think that's ultimately what it is, because even Cowboys fans are like, they're trying to tame those expectations, because it always comes down to first-round exits or underachieving, and they get bashed for it, and they're sick of that. They're like you said, they're becoming aware, and I think that's what it is. It's just not a great team. This isn't an 11-win team.
It's not a great team, but,
I'm being so negative right now to Dallas, and I apologize, but I'm just trying to look at it as realistic as I can. 9-8 isn't very great, but I don't know.
It's very average. And I think me and you're on the same page. There's not a lot to, like, hang your hat on for the Cowboys. There's not a lot of things going. If they would have made, like, a couple splashy acquisitions to beef up maybe the wide receiver core or, the defensive line, linebacker, or whatever, corner, it would be different, but they literally didn't make any moves, and there was a lot of departures, so it's kind of hard for us to think any other way other than, they're just average, you know what I mean? Which is fine,
Can I ask you, what do you expect out of CeeDee Lamb? Because I was very negative about that, but I do think he's a good player. I'm a big fan. I just want to hear what you think of him being the number one.
I think, like you said, I think he has potential to be the number one, and I think he will be. I think he'll be a star. I think he'll be really good. He'll be. I think it'll be a smooth transition from CD to Amari Cooper.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was trying to get you at.
If he can stay healthy, and he's got more juice, than Amari Cooper, I'd say.
More flashier, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know that they'll miss Amari that much. And I think CeeDee Lamb is a fine number one wide receiver, and I believe he will be. This will be his career year.
What would his stat line kind of replicate? You think over or under 85 catches?
I'd say over.
Over under 1,100 yards.
Over.
Over under 7 touchdowns. 7.5.
Over.
Oh, okay, so you have him going good.
Yeah, I have him good. I mean,
that'll be super
even in
strong.
fantasy. I mean, he goes as high as second round.
Yeah, as
I think I don't have that many concerns with him. I mean, I know we haven't seen it, but I'm predicting breakout, man, for CD.
Right.
CD GOAT.
Yeah, I'm not so worried about the offense. I know you asked me that. Because like CeeDee Lamb, Schultz, Tolbert, healthy Gallup, Zeke, and then Tony Pollard is a guy I don't think we've really mentioned yet. You know how I feel about Tony Pollard.
I know how you feel about Tony Pollard. TP, man. What butt?
I'm a healthy fan of Tony Pollard. I can say that.
No, you're not just healthy. You want...
I want the whole player.
Yeah, you. I mean, dude, you bought in all of his stock for a while now, and I respect it, man. You have those players. I, on the other hand,
I want to just talk about the player before we get into the comparison between him and Zeke. I just think Tony Pollard, I think his strong suit in this offense in 2022 is going to be his receiving. And I say that because, like you said, Cooper's gone. Cedric Wilson's gone. Tony Pollard's going to get a lot of work in that receiving game. And I think he's going to be used a lot in the slot. He's going to be used a lot as a receiver. And I think that's beneficial to this offense. And it's not as big as a hit losing those two receivers when you can have a Tony Pollard, a CeeDee Lamb, a Tolbert, a Schultz still in this offense. And I just wanted to mention that because I want to give love to Tony Pollard.
Yeah, I think Tony Pollard's a good player. I think he's like a poor man's Jamal Charles. Without the workload, being the backup. But I think when he gets in the game, he's electric. He can bust off that 60-yard run. And you mentioned working out of the slot. They mentioned that in training camp reports, and that's very exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Just to get him the ball, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Zeke is a running back. He's a, north-south between the tackles kind of guy, and having, that change of pace back.
Mm-hmm.
Can we talk about Zeke?
Yeah, let's get into that.
This is one of my bold predictions.
Go ahead.
Zeke has a career year. He's in really good shape. He's been hearing all these critics talking about this and that, fumble issues, out of shape, he's fat, he gropes women.
Those are all true.
He looks fantastic. What is he, 26 years old, 27?
He's probably 27.
Oh, man, he's in the primal of his life, man.
Is that prime?
Yeah, 27. Well,
that's on the end, if you ask me.
Well, football's different, man. I don't even know if we have a prime, man. You got 1 or 2 years if you're lucky at running back.
Right.
But Zeke is built for it. We've seen it. I think he's motivated. And he's ready to go. I think he has issues with motivation in the past. He's paid. He's looking good. I think Zeke has a career year, man.
Wow.
And that's big time because I don't know his career highs, but
that's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's got to be at least.
It's a heifer of a season.
It's going to be, what, like 1,400 rush yards? Probably 12 touchdowns.
Yeah, that sounds crazy when you say it.
Well, because, like, career Zeke was, like, a top 3 running back in the NFL.
Yeah.
Is he still that guy, you think? I mean, obviously.
I think so.
So Zeke is interesting to me. He's the most interesting player on the Cowboys this year for me. Because with Zeke, we've seen both ends of the spectrum. We've seen, the top 3 running back for Dallas. We've seen the workhorse. We've seen Zeke carry this offense. But we've also seen the last 2 years Zeke kind of not be his usual self. Oh, he's washed. Oh, the workload's caught up to him. All this stuff. He's overweight, blah, blah, blah. Which he has. He hasn't been himself. So I think he's the most interesting because which Zeke are we going to get this year? Are we going to get, the big Zeke? Or are we going to get, the superstar Zeke?
Freak Zeke.
And in my opinion, it either goes, he has a career year, he has a great year, or he loses the job to Tony Pollard. I think those are the 2 results for Zeke.
Which one is more likely to happen?
Well, because the fans, as soon as Zeke underperforms, the fans are calling for Tony Pollard. The fans love Tony Pollard. And which one am I hoping for, or which one's more realistic?
Yeah, which one's more realistic in your eyes?
The more realistic one to me is Zeke having a phenomenal year. I think if Zeke's healthy 100%, he's not dealing with a broken shin, an ankle sprain, or anything, and he's healthy, I think he can get close to that 1,200-yard, 10-touchdown season. I believe that, too.
Okay, cool. What are some of your bold predictions?
My first bold prediction, sticking to the running backs, Tony Pollard has more total yards than Zeke. That's receiving and rushing combined. Because like I said, I believe Tony Pollard's going to be very involved in receiving. Third down, slot snaps. And, my bold prediction, more total yards than Zeke, Tony Pollard.
I knew that was coming. I've already said that. I think this is the year the Cowboys realize that Dak is not the answer.
Ooh. Wow. Spiced.
Yeah, I think that, they've been thinking, Dak is the guy ever since he replaced Tony Romo. And they've been, they paid him. They think he's, they pay him like he's a top 10 quarterback, but, I think they slowly realize that it's time to move on from Dak Prescott if they want to reach the promised land.
Okay, wow, that's
bold. That's a bold prediction, man, because they love Dak down there. I'll tell you what, man, they got the Dallas Cowboys fans that love Dak.
Yeah, that's crazy, because you mentioned it, you had a bold prediction about Dak. But you wouldn't tell me. But I kept saying he's going to throw for 5,000 yards.
All positive.
Or he's going to rush for 500. And
yeah,
I never would have guessed that. But wow. Okay. It's possible. Cowboys fans are going to be chirping at the bit if Dak does not take him to the promised land, man. So it's interesting. Like you said, man, it's not going to take much for them to have a difficult time, especially in those first few weeks.
And that brings me to my next point. Mike McCarthy is the first coach fired this season. Because you know what? You know who's waiting right behind him is Dan Quinn. And right behind him,
Sean Payton.
Sean Payton, man. There's a lot of eyes over those shoulders. A slow start. And I think it's sayonara. I think Jerry Jones will pull that plug before he can even snap his boots into his saddle.
Wow. Yeah, that one's interesting too. Because who knows, man? Like you said, he even mentioned it, Jerry Jones himself. Hey, I got a list of guys that would come coach this team. And, Mike McCarthy is not very good in my opinion. They could have done him justice and let him go last year. But we'll see, man.
We need to look at it, see if his lazy eye's gotten worse.
It's possible.
I think that's a big problem.
He's looking bigger and bigger by the minute.
I haven't seen him lately.
Yeah, I hope I don't see him anymore.
Do you have another bold prediction?
Yeah, I'm going to keep showing some love to Dallas because I came out very negative on him.
Super Bowl or bust!
No hard feelings to Dallas, in my opinion. Not very bold, but Micah Parsons wins Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, he's a guy that could go 100-plus tackles, 15 sacks, and stuff like that. He can put up freak numbers. But he has yet to record an interception.
Oh, dude, he stinks.
This guy's dog water.
Um,
But I do think he'll get a pick this
I'm
year.
not a big fan of Micah Parsons.
I don't know if I can let you go there.
As a personality wise.
Oh,
He thinks he's so good. You haven't done anything. Let's see it this year, dude. I bet
That's
he
true.
falls off. That's my bold prediction. Micah Parsons is a regular average Joe. He's a 70 in Madden by 2023.
wow.
You heard it here first.
Wow. I don't know. I think he's a good player. But
Hey,
I can understand the
I have
cockiness.
animosity.
Yeah, just being annoyed by him. I can see that.
I got another one for you Cowboys fans out there. Stand up, everybody. Jalen Tolbert will have 900-plus yards receiving.
Yeah?
Let me tell you something about Jalen Tolbert. He's from South Alabama. You know anyone else from there?
No.
Nor do I.
Uh,
I think there is.
Gerald
some.
Everett?
You went to South Alabama?
Or West Alabama? Or something West
Some
Alabama?
Alabama.
Yeah.
But his senior year, he had almost 1,500 yards.
Yeah, I know he went
And he
off.
had 35, count them, 35 explosive plays.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy? That's a lot. I don't know I don't know. I should have looked up the definition of explosive plays, but it sounded real important to me. So I thought I'd throw that out there.
Or maybe what conference South Alabama is in.
The Bible Belt University scout team.
No, but like you said, we're both huge believers in Jalen Tolbert. I think he's a stud in the making. I think he's going to be a solid number 2 in the NFL.
Me too.
And I have him winning Rookie of the Year as another bold prediction.
Nice.
He's
okay,
my
we're on a lockstep with Jalen Tolbert. We both like him a lot.
He's my
I think
dark
the
horse.
Cowboys do too.
He's my dark horse for Rookie of the Year.
All right, yeah, I got my way out there.
Man, you have a lot. All right.
Yeah, this is my last one. Cowboys have a chance in the last game to make the playoffs. They're down by 28 with 30 seconds left. Jerry World begins to shake violently and ascend into the sky. Turns out it's a rocket ship. Jerry Jones takes players and fans into space, where they live, no crimes committed, no intergalactic laws broken. They just orbit Earth for the rest of their lives. Because Jerry Jones is tired of failing.
That's
So
how
he
he's gonna
leaves
go.
this Earth to live in Jerry World with fans and the players.
Wow, that's magnificent, really.
Yeah, it would be incredible. I mean, who knows, man?
That's
Who knows?
crazy.
They just orbit Earth and they just, kind of do their own. Because, I mean, who knows? Maybe he's got, like the rocket comes out and there's just a whole nother. There's levels to Jerry World. So he's got, like, food for lifetime. He's got whatever you need.
It's like it lifts up off the ground, and then there's like 10 floors below
Yeah.
the stadium.
Yeah, like the football. The top is the football field,
It's just
and the rest
top.
is, like, the living quarters.
It's like a huge spaceship.
And they, like, call in to, like, the fans. Like, you guys want to come back? We can come in. Like, no, we'll stay here. We like it out here.
They get like brainwashed,
Yeah, it's like Wall-E.
like Wall-E. Wow, that's incredible. That's like that made my mind into mesh. To be honest,
You like MASH?
like that. Yeah, that was mind-boggling. Really thinking about it.
Yeah, I kind of got intergalactic on it.
That's crazy.
Because I don't think he would commit. They could get him.
No, I mean, what are you
'Cause
gonna do? Send police out to space?
Is there laws in space?
I'm sure.
You know how you can go into, like, pirate waters and do whatever you want because there's no laws. No one can.
Right.
Maritime law is very strange.
Right.
Dude, no one has any laws in space. You could, like, go up there butt naked. And
I wouldn't be that surprised because Jerry Jones might be 49% alien.
Yeah, he looks stranger every day. It looks like his, Men in Black, the cockroach dude.
Yeah.
He's starting to look more and more like that guy every year.
That's troubling.
But
let's move on, man.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
Who's next up?
Let's go to the New York Giants. The G-Man.
MetLife.
Can you make a giant noise? That works. Okay. I mean,
that's what it sounds like on top of the skyscrapers.
It sounds like like the wind. Let's go to the Giants.
Sure.
You know, they had a very tough season last year. Tough sledding. A lot of injuries.
Horrid. Really.
Yeah, a lot of unfortunate. There wasn't a lot of bright spots to speak of. Kadarius kind of was bright spot
for one game.
But basically, there's Saquon.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I hated watching the Giants last year on TV.
I hated watching the Giants too, because they stunk.
It was horrid, to put it frank.
Except for the Saints game.
They had like 3 good games. They played the Chiefs well, 20-17. They lost, but
dang, that's crazy. I did not know that.
Yeah, but I mean, they're just hard to watch. I'm sorry, Giants fans, but I'm just being real.
But this offseason, they addressed a few things. They got a new head coach.
Absolutely.
Joe Judge they kicked him. That guy stinks. They got Brian Daboll.
Nice.
See what he can do with Danny Jones, baby. It's his last year. They're going to give him the reins and see what happens. Saquon looks to be doing very well in training camp. Like, the Saquon we know and love. They drafted Evan Neal and Thibodeau to shore up the trenches for him. What are you seeing with these Giants this year in New York?
Yeah, I think in my opinion, this is one of the harder teams to figure out. At least heading into 2022, giving a projection or a preview on this team, it's hard, to be honest with you guys. Like you said, bringing in Daboll, their draft, their first 2 picks were, 10 out of 10. That's a good start, to say the least, to this new era of the Giants. But ultimately, with Daniel Jones starting at quarterback, they won't be very good. And I'm sorry to say that, Giants fans. I'm sure you guys are starting to realize that. But he's not very good. And you had 2 high picks. You had the opportunity to get a franchise quarterback. You passed on it. But I like what you did with your picks. But you're still stuck with Daniel Jones. So this year, in my opinion, is going to lead to not a very good season. And Daniel Jones is unfortunately going to end up giving this team his replacement in 2023 with a top 10 pick.
Hey, I'm walking here.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm tired of this Daniel Jones slander. I will not have it on Forget What You Heard podcast until we see the new look Giants.
Does Daniel Jones throw for over 4,000 yards, over under?
Yes. My bold prediction is he's the top 10 quarterback this year.
Oh, well, you're just sleeping on cloud 9.
His QBR is 80.5.
He stinks.
Dude, Daboll is a whisperer, dude.
Yeah,
Look what he did to Josh Allen.
But he's going to be a whisperer with Bryce Young, not Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones.
We'll see, man. I would be I wouldn't know what to do.
Can Bryce Young run 22 miles per hour, 80 yards down the field?
Mm-hmm. No, probably not.
That's what I thought. Danny can.
Okay, you literally named the one bright spot in Daniel Jones' career.
It wasn't even bright. He tripped.
Fell.
Someone sniped him, I'm convinced.
But yeah, there's not much to say about the Giants, man. I mean, a few big names. They had a good draft. Saquon Barkley's a stud. Hopefully he stays healthy and gets back to being rookie Saquon. I would love that.
I think we all would.
Yeah. Where's Darius Slayton? We don't hear about him. Does he stink? Wan'Dale Robinson is replacement? What's going on?
Yeah, I haven't heard. Dang, I completely forgot about Darius Slayton.
He was a starting receiver last year. He's still there. He's healthy. I'm not sure what.
That's weird. Who's Daniel Bellinger?
The guy they drafted last year out of San Diego State.
Is he good? Potential?
Yeah, he's potentially a good tight end.
And they got some Ricky Seals-Jones action in there, man.
Horrid.
He wasn't bad for the Commanders.
He's not good. I'm sorry. He might not make the team.
I wanted to point out something interesting I noticed by looking at this roster.
Sure.
They have really good skill positions, but their trenches are like their in-between players are poop. It's like they built
the wrong way.
The outside in.
Yeah, I've noticed that too. The receiving core is deep. I mean, Sterling Shepard, Wan'Dale Robinson, Darius Slayton, Kenny Galladay, Kadarius Toney, fine, sure, whatever. Barkley's fine. But that's not how you build a team, and they realized that. So that's why they took Thibodeau,
home the trenches.
Evan Neal, solid. That's how you build your team. Andrew Thomas last year. And then their interior defensive line, I mean, Leonard Williams and Dexter Lawrence are freaks. I mean, that's scary, really. And then to bring Thibodeau, Azeez Ojulari has still some upside. He was their pick last year. They're building right, finally, but I'm just not sure if the improvements this offseason will be enough to keep them from a top 10 pick.
What do you have the New York Giants record?
I've been going 6-11.
Silly boy.
What do you have them?
6-11.
Oh.
Yeah. I started out with 8-9.
Really?
Yeah. I have a sweet spot for the Giants.
You do?
I mean, Saquon Barkley is like my favorite NFL player. Daniel Jones is...
Well, it goes back to even Plaxico.
I think that's what it is, honestly. I always want the Giants to do good, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's just a lovable team to me. Like, Daniel Jones just looks like a nerd, you know. You just want him to do good. So people pat him on the back. Do you have any bold predictions for this upcoming season?
I just want to say, like, even if they do improve and this team looks a little better, like, I still think their ceiling is, like, 7-10. To go from, a top 2 pick last year, where they have the second pick?
Yeah.
To winning 7 games. Like, that's a big improvement, honestly.
Yeah.
So, even 6-11, I mean, that might still be top 10 pick, but it's better than
2.
Yeah.
You got some bolds?
I think, I mean, not really bold. I'll say Kadarius Toney and Wan'Dale Robinson lead the team in receiving.
That's as bold as you're going to get?
No, I'll go bolder, but Kenny Galladay stinks. He's given up on the Giants.
It's about as bold as a potato chip.
Kayvon Thibodeau leads the entire NFL in sacks.
There you go, spicing it up a little bit.
I'm a big fan of Thibodeau. I believe in his prospect. I believe in his talent. And I think he's going to be a superstar in the NFL.
I think he'll be good. I don't know about superstar.
You heard it from me first.
I have a couple. I had the Danny Jones top 10 quarterback. I also have Saquon break single game record for rushing yards.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's just one game he literally just goes bonks.
Goes for what, like 260?
I'm talking 272.
Wow, that would be incredible.
I could see him doing it. But I'm talking he has like 2 80-yard runs and then the rest is pretty...
He can do that.
Dude, that would be so beautiful.
He's one of the few guys...
What is the rushing record? 260-something?
Yeah, I think 262, Adrian Peterson.
263.
But yeah, I mean, Saquon's one of the few guys in the NFL that can do that just because of his, breakaway speed and big runs. He looks real good, too, man. He's trucking people out there.
Yeah, I don't really have any more bold predictions on it.
You don't have nothing on Daniel Jones?
A top 10 quarterback with an 80.5 QB rating.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I mean, there's not much for me to say.
He throws more touchdowns than interceptions.
Is that bold?
He outperforms Jalen Hurts.
Oh, gosh.
On the ground.
Can we water bet that one?
He has more rushing yards than Jalen Hurts. Rushing touchdowns. I'll do one of them. I'll do rushing touchdowns.
All right.
Brian Dable, Josh Allen.
No, those are two different...
QB sneaks.
Two different players.
Danny Jones more athletic than Josh Allen.
I don't think so.
Bold. Here we go. Come on.
Oh, yeah, I guess you are doing bold, but Just because Josh Allen is good doesn't mean Daniel Jones will be good. Those are two different guys.
I know people thought Trubisky was going to be good because he was under Dable for a year.
Dog water.
It doesn't look like it. It looks like he's water dog.
No, that guy stinks.
Bolts.
That's it. I'm done.
I got one.
All right.
Saquon. Let me beat the drum, man. Saquon drum. Saquon proves all haters wrong. Proves he's generational.
That's
Everyone's
proven.
hating on him. He's injury prone. He's this. He's that. He's washed. He proves everyone wrong. At the end of the year, he says he wants to be called Quan Bark. And he does it with shades on both of his thighs.
Interesting. Quan Bark. That's cute, man. It's like a dog reference. I like it.
Yeah. Quan Bark.
Cool.
QB.
Oh, I see, yeah. He could do everything he wants. He is generational, in my
But the
opinion.
interview is just his thighs.
Oh, really? Are they talking?
Like, one's talking for a little bit, and then the other one.
Yeah, his legs are gigantic.
Bigger than my head.
Huge.
Small head bigger than my torso.
Yeah, he and A.J. Dillon are built from a lab. Their legs are, at least.
Yeah, those guys. I wonder what it's like to be that big.
How do you get in a vehicle with those? Probably have to get on all fours to get in.
Yeah, we'll have to ask him if we ever meet him.
Introducing the Washington Commanders.
Commandos!
What are they up to, man?
Make their noise.
Hey, salute! Sergeant Marge.
That should be their ad lib or whatever.
They play it after a first down.
That would be amazing. I would become a Commanders fan immediately. They had a little change at the QB helm.
Sure did.
Move aside, Heineke. We got Carson Wentz in the building, baby. May not be the upgrade that we all want, but it's an upgrade. Would you agree?
Yeah, I'll say this, speaking on Wentz, he was better than I think we expected last year. I know that final game in Jacksonville was terrible, but as a whole last year, he wasn't turning the ball over. He made good throws. He wasn't great, but he was better than average, I think. Overall, I still think he's an average quarterback. I understand that he is probably an upgrade to Heineke, but you don't trade for a quarterback unless you know he's going to put you over the top. Because at this point, if you're the Commanders, you should probably be rebuilding a little bit. And to trade that draft capital for an average quarterback, to me, I don't love that. That's not what I do if I'm in the front office. But he is an upgrade. We'll have to see.
Yeah, he's definitely an upgrade. I think his problem is, like, whenever he gets pressured, his pants are soiled. And he makes really poor decisions when pressured, but when he has a clean pocket, he's an average quarterback. He can make the throws if he needs to, but he is so bad. It's like crazy, like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, like how bad he'll throw it up when there's 4 defenders and 1 wide receiver, But other than that, I think he can keep a clean pocket. Maybe he's worked some things out mentally, physically. I mean, he's probably goes to therapy with Riverboat Ron every Thursday,
Yeah, I'll just say for Wentz, if he can be the guy he was last year for the Colts, be the same guy, 10 interceptions, come over, be Alex Smith type of guy, just game manager, control the offense, make the smart plays. I think he can be efficient. I think he can move the ball. Something that the Commanders, that Washington has struggled with in the past. Get the ball to Terry, man. Get the ball to Dotson. Let's make some plays. Those guys can do plays for you. If they can do that, I think Washington might be a pretty good team, and I like what they have overall.
Yeah, I think they were like the worst defense last year, and they were riddled with injuries.
Oh, ravaged by them, yeah.
Yeah, COVID, all that. But the year before, They were one of the stoutest defense in the league, and I think they're get back. They have, in my opinion, the best defensive line in football.
I agree.
And their corners are great. Linebackers, I'm a big fan of Jamin Davis.
Mm-hmm.
I have high hopes for that guy. I really, really like him. I think he's the quarterback of the defense, and that's important. But going back to the storyline of Antonio Gibson, I want to know your opinions, your thoughts, I want to know what kind of curmudgeon you got going on in your brainsicle.
Yeah, he's been dealing with injuries this offseason and last year, hamstring, played on a broken shin last year, played through it. And he had some good weeks doing it, too.
Dude, he's got Sauce Walker on him.
To me, that's what I want in a football player. If you're going to play through injuries, and you're going to play through injuries in a very good way, the way he did, I want that player. I want him getting the ball when he's healthy. I want that guy on my team. Yes, they brought in Brian Robinson. They brought back J.D. McKissick. But the role, in my opinion, is going to be the same for Antonio Gibson. He's their number one back. He's the best back on the team. They used him a ton last year. A lot of rushes. He's a guy that can get 20, 25 carries if need be. He's a former receiver at Memphis. He can catch that ball real good out of that backfield. But they choose not to use him for that very often. But overall, I expect Gibson to be the number one back. I do expect him to get the handful of carries, 240 carries. And I do expect him to be that main guy. I'm still in on Antonio Gibson. I believe in the talent. He's a big body guy, 220. He can carry that rock. And, I expect some good things out of Gibson. Even though a lot of people are counting him out. Oh, Brian Robinson, he's going to steal goal line. Oh, Brian Robinson's going to steal short yardage. But no, this is the Antonio Gibson show. He's the best back. And I'm all in. I'm still believing.
Me, on the other hand, Antonio Banderas Gibson, his time has come to be great again. No, I'm actually very, very torn on what to feel. I know you're pro Gibson. You think he'll be fine.
Yes.
This less than last year, like in terms of total yardage, touchdowns.
How many do you have?
Usage.
Usage will probably come down slightly, but he's a 1,000-yard rusher. He's a 10 total touchdown guy.
1,000 yards this year?
I believe it.
Dude, you're a real friend.
No, dude. I mean, why shouldn't we? No, McKissick was there last year. He was a 1,000-yard rusher last year. What's changed? Brian Robinson was a third, fourth-round pick. He's a backup. He's a big guy. He's not anywhere as talented as Antonio Gibson. Why should a guy who was drafted third or fourth round, who's worse than Gibson, still work from him? That's not going to happen. This is football.
But why is everyone so scared of Antonio Gibson in the fantasy world? Is it because of Brian Robinson and J.D. McKissick? They had J.D. McKissick last year. I
believe it's a handful of things. I believe Washington...
Smokescreen.
No, the Washington Commanders aren't a very good team, at least offensively last year. Heineke, Wentz are kind of, you don't really deal with that. Obviously, bringing back McKissick, it was like, oh, McKissick's leaving. We love Gibson. But the fact that they brought him back, people were like, oh, man, McKissick's back. But in reality, he was just fine with them last year. And then, obviously, Brian Robinson, drafting him, people think, oh, they drafted a running back, he's going to steal work. But no, that's not always the case. That's not always the case. It's probably rarely the case, honestly, especially in the third and fourth round. He's just depth at this point. If he sustains another injury, they have Brian Robinson. And so that's the way I look at it.
I respect that. I think I'm leaning that way, is that he doesn't have that much tread on the tires. He wasn't a running back in college. Yeah, they used him a lot, rookie and last year, but I guess I'll hold out hope for him, man. But let's get into another position that I think the Commanders are pretty, solid at. They got Scary Terry, Curtis Samuel. They drafted Jahan Dotson. You got some good players out there. They all seem like the kind of little guys that can play the game, man. What are you thinking about that wide receiver corps?
Well, I'm a big fan. Surprised that they took Dotson where they did with Treylon Burks on the board. I think Burks would have been a perfect fit in Washington.
They need a big body.
Like Treylon Burks next to McLaurin and then Samuel in the slot would just be, wow, what a group. Just like all perfectly fit together. But instead they took Jahan Dotson. And that's not anything against Jahan Dotson. I've really liked him. I mentioned to Aaron, I think 2 years ago, like Jahan Dotson's a guy we got to watch out for. Penn State.
We watched him and I was very impressed.
Penn State's known for producing those guys, Allen Robinson, Chris Godwin, just to name a few. And Dotson was just as impressive as those guys, in my opinion. He might be littler, but he plays way bigger than his size. His hands are automatic, and he's electric. And I think ultimately they did take maybe the more overall talented guy compared to Treylon Burks. And I expect a lot out of Jahan. I know there's a lot of training camp noise behind him. Him and Wentz have been interlocking on those intermediate routes. He's basically unguardable. And I'm very excited for Dotson. I'm also very excited for Curtis Samuel. If he can get back to being that, Carolina Panthers slot guy, close to the line of scrimmage, one of the fastest players in the league. And, a guy that was a very highly touted prospect at Ohio State. And then that 1 year in Carolina, I think he went for close to 1,000 yards and 8 touchdowns. And if he can just stay healthy and be that guy, he's another huge addition for Carson Wentz.
I have a fuming question for you.
Sure.
Terry McLaurin got paid.
Big money.
I want to know if he's going to be Scary Terry or Lactose Dairy Terry.
I think Terry's going to be similar to what we've seen the past 2 years.
Scary?
Yeah. I think the talent of Terry is very good. It's just, I don't know if it's the lack of quarterback or I don't know what it is because he's talented. You see him make those plays. He's exciting. He makes big plays. But is he really a true alpha receiver?
I think so. The only reason I asked the question is because I wanted to say Lactose Dairy Terry. I think Terry McLaurin is a stud, number one wide receiver.
Yeah, I think he is too.
On any team you put him on.
But you asked me, yeah, I think he's going to be Scary Terry. It'll just be similar to what he's done in the past. I don't know if we see like this crazy, 1,300 yard, 10 touchdown season. I'm not sure if that's going to happen.
What did you think of the nickname Lactose Dairy Terry?
Lactose Dairy Terry.
Did you understand it?
It's an oxymoron?
Yeah.
Lactose Dairy Terry. I guess they cancel each other out, and it's really just
like
Terry.
He's lactose intolerant, but he had dairy, Terry, which means like he'd be bad. That would be like the bad form of Terry McLaurin.
Oh, I see.
So I've come up, if he does, God forbid, if he has a down year, you know where to go. Lactose Dairy Terry.
Lactose Dairy. I like that. That's very clever of you to say.
Thank you. That was sweet of you to say that in front of our audience.
Because as a man who has lactose and is lactose intolerant,
Dude.
I do consume a lot of cheese and dairy and milk, and I'm not ashamed of it. But
Do you
those
suffer?
those can be some of my worst days.
Do you suffer after you have dairy?
I don't say I suffer. Maybe I suffer, but I've just kind of been immune to it. I've kind of, faced it head on. Like, I'm going to eat dairy regardless, even though I know, a couple hours later, even 5 minutes later, I'm going to end up on the toilet on all fours. And I definitely deal with it that way. And so if you're lactose intolerant, I support you taking in dairy.
Can I ask you a personal question about that lactose?
Yeah.
Whenever, after you consume dairy, does it come out in like a solid form when you relieve yourself, or does it come out musically in terms of toots?
The strange thing for me in my personal experience of having lactose is whatever I consume, it comes out the same color. So if I have milk for the day, it's white. If I have a little cheese, it's like a tan orange color.
Is it like an auburn?
Yeah, it's like a nice, autumn color.
Wow. That doesn't sound too bad. It sounds kind of
Oh, it's
liberating.
amusing. Because I know if I have milk that day, it's going to be a little, wider, pinker.
I have another question. I've noticed you've been talking about being on all fours quite a few times on this pod. What's going on with you, dude? Is that veterinarian topic we got on getting to you? Or are you?
No, I think we talked about this off mic, but I'm considering transitioning to a bear.
I just want you to know, Luke, if you really do go forward with this procedure and transition, I'm behind you 100%.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I will, do all I can to be there for you in tough times or in good times. So
I appreciate that. That goes a long way because a lot of people do not support my transition. And I'm very thankful that I have someone behind my back that supports what I enjoy and what I prefer to be.
Yeah. I think you should be whatever you want to be, and it's 2022. If you want to be a bear, gosh darn it, go be a bear, man.
Thank you.
And you're going to be the best dang bear there ever was.
Appreciate that.
Any more?
Yeah, I want to talk about this defense.
Ooh, shouts out to the boys.
Yeah, this is a promising young defense. I don't care what anyone will tell you about it. They were middle of the pack last year. They're secondary. They've been destroyed by injuries. But I think this defense can be sneaky good in 2022 if all health stands together. I think Cole Holcomb is a very underrated linebacker. I mean, he's kind of a stud if you ask me, boys and girls. Cameron Curl, young safety, I think second or third year. He's one of my favorite players in the NFL, and I think he's going to emerge as one of the best safeties in the National Football League. And then obviously Chase Young, Montez Sweat, Daron Payne, Jonathan Allen. That's the best darn group in football.
It's a nightmare.
That is insanity.
Dude, that's sleep paralysis.
That's nightmare badoodle.
Oh, dude, I had sleep paralysis last night.
The only concern I have is Kendall Fuller, William Jackson, St. Just. I don't know if that's a great cornerback line.
What was the third name?
Benjamin St. Just.
That's a great name. It's a strong football name.
It might be average, and I guess with the pass rush and that front line, they might be able to get, some turnovers and stuff, but just not a super strong group. But outside of that, man, I really do like this defense.
All right, dude, stop beating around the bush. What's the record on it?
I have, with the improvements and the healthy defense, I have the Washington Commanders going 8-9.
Oh, by golly, Berk. 9-8, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I also have them going 9-8.
No, I said 8-9, but you can have 9-8.
Yeah, I have them going 9-8.
All right.
I thought you were going to say that they were a 10-win team. What the heck happened, man? You had a change of heart?
No. I just, like I said, I don't know how much of an Wentz is an improvement. But I don't know. I'm not sure, really, why.
Interesting. Yeah, I have them 9-8. I have them getting I think this defense is. I mean, you mentioned all the studs and everything. I think that defensive.
I'm gonna go 9-8.
All right, thank you. We have the same, but that defensive line is going to cause so much havoc. I don't think the secondary has to be that great.
Right.
I think they can just be average and still make them plays, man.
That's a good point.
And Carson Wentz is an upgrade from Taylor Heinicke. What was the record last year? 7-10.
7-8 with Heinicke.
7-8 with Heinicke.
Mm-hmm.
See,
pretty good.
I think they're just a decent team.
And
they're gonna trudge along.
The cool thing about it too, like even if Wentz stinks or gets hurt, like Heinicke is more than capable.
We've seen it time and time again.
Average.
Yeah, yeah. He's capable of being average. I agree.
That's all you need to do.
That's I wonder if that's a backhanded compliment.
Nah, dude. He understands.
Okay, as long as he understands, I don't want to hurt step on anyone's toes.
I mean, like he went 7-8 with an injured team. If they're healthier, and Wentz struggles, Heinicke's fine.
Yeah. You got any bold prediction for these boys?
Yeah, I do. I'm gonna give the boldest one first.
Okay.
Jahan Dotson finishes as a number 1 receiver in Washington.
In Washington?
Yep.
I really like this one. This one is where there's smoke, there's fire. This
get
is
crazy.
This is a slap in the face to Terry McLaurin.
And it sucks because Terry's my top 5 favorite receiver, man.
It's true. You always touted him. I feel like I've kind of
put him on the back burner.
Yeah, you've kind of put him away. You've kind of put him in the cupboard and tucked him away.
I'm sorry for that, Terry. I do love you. I think you're an amazing player. But this is a bold prediction, man. I'm going to get bold on it. And Carson Wentz is new. I know Terry got paid the big dollars to be the number 1. But my bold prediction is Dotson just outperforms him.
Dude, that's Anquan Bolden.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Let's go with one I mean. I have Jamin Davis, all-pro linebacker.
Ooh, me gusto.
I think he really ascends into, like, the Roquan Smith,
Devin White.
Oh,
yeah, I like that.
That like, he's got that same build to me and that same dog energy. That middle linebacker, quarterback of the defense kind of guy that's going to run through a wall for your team. That's the kind of vibes I get from Jamin.
Yeah, and it's like he's not no slouch. He was a first-round pick, and he was climbing up boards when the draft process was coming. And he's got those freak tendencies. It's just consistency, health.
Has he been underwhelming?
No, he's been fine.
He's just been status quo?
Yeah, he's just status quo, but like you said, man, sometimes it takes a year or two for guys to really implement their skills. And, yeah, I like that. I really do.
You have another bold?
Washington wins the NFC East.
I would say that is very bold. But not out of the realm of possibility.
It's not. They might have the best defense. I think Gibson, Terry McLaurin, those guys can be studs, all pro type guys, Pro Bowl type guys. And then Wentz does his thing, 25 touchdowns, 9, 10 picks. Close to 4,000 yards. That's all you need, and this team can win 10 games straight out.
You know what they say, defense wins divisions.
They sure do.
This one might be real bold. Curtis Samuel inherits a Debo role and explodes.
Wow.
Puts up Debo light numbers. He's not going to put up Debo numbers, but like he's going to do a lot of running, screens, and also do his wide receiver job really well. He's a thin guy, but I think he can do it.
That one's fun. I think that could be interesting because Samuel is talented enough to be someone like that. Like you said, Debo light, not necessarily Debo, but getting back to like the Carolina days, being a true weapon could really open up another level to this offense. And it's not out of the realm of possibilities that he steals like he did in Carolina. He stole.
He stole?
From DJ Moore and those guys.
Oh,
he was a stealer for sure. Because he's sneaky good. Guys don't look at him that way.
I have written down, I don't know what this really means. Very interesting combo team. I think I just thought it was like a very interesting combination of talents.
Yeah.
Like just very, not really, I don't know, they don't really have a niche. They're kind of all over the place. They kind of got it all.
Yeah.
I just wrote that down. I thought it was whimsically wandering the wilderness with a waller breeze.
Washington's in a strange spot, though, because like you said, they're loaded with talent, a lot of young talent. All these players are pretty young. But like, I don't know, are they good enough to win the division and make a playoff run? Like the talent is there. I mean, obviously they're missing probably some, a true number 1 corner, maybe a better quarterback. But like, is this like a rebuilding team, or like should they be contending? Like, what are your thoughts?
To me, it's like a middle of the road team, but they're gonna play hard and be like, they're never gonna be like get blown out, or I don't think they'll ever be like, they're not bad, but they'll be in like every game like they were last year. They were a hard out. Even when you thought they were gonna get blown out, they always hung in there.
Right.
I think it's a testament to Riverboat Ron, honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting, man. They're going to be in all the games, like you said. It's just a matter of how many can they pull out.
And how that defense performs. They stay healthy and they get back to, top 5 or one of the top defenses. That changes a lot.
By golly, watch out.
I tell you what, man. I have one last one, and this is like a parental advisory. I'm sorry for saying this. This word that has been outcasted by the NFL community, and I think it should be outcasted by society and everyone. But I'm just going to say it for this prediction. And I don't mean any offense when I say the word that I'm going to say.
Shoot, now I don't know what to expect.
Carson Wentz refuses to wear Commanders gear and call the team Commanders. He chooses to wear Redskins gear and calls the team Redskins still. And he refuses to change. He, on the bye week, he takes a road trip on the bye week through the long and lonesome West. And he goes missing and is never seen again.
Huh. Is this a shot at Carson Wentz's character?
Oh, dude, I didn't say nothing, man. That's what you read into it.
Yeah,
I don't think he has there's no he's not stereotypical or racist, I don't believe. It's just a story I thought was interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting.
But what happens to him in the long and lonesome West? What do you think?
What state is he in when he goes
He's
missing?
going to New Mexico, Arizona.
He's probably going to Skinwalker Ranch.
Utah, all that. But he stops on an Indian reservation and they find out it's him and they're still saying that word. He's going to be gone with the casino.
Interesting.
The ghost of Tom Joad.
I don't know if that would even make headlines, man. I don't think people really care about Carson Wentz like that.
I don't know how. I mean, it would probably be pretty, like, the search, and then after the search dies down, because, I mean, if he's on an Indian reservation, I'm not saying that they would do it, but if he was, they wouldn't find him.
No, it would just be one of those ones over the years that they did so much sacrificial and ritual stuff that as soon as he stepped foot on there, he just disappeared.
Yeah, Skinwalker would probably get him.
Whatever it is, man, it could be.
And you're driving down Route 66 late at night, you see the ghost of
Carson
Wentz in his North Dakota State galb.
And he's on all fours. Full circle, baby.
Yes, sir, I like that. That was good. I like that.
Introducing the Philadelphia Eagles.
Go ahead and make the noise. That sounded like a bear rat.
Yeah, there you go, Baltimore. All right, man. Sounds like we're on the Eagles.
I'll let you do the introductions, man. This is your favorite team. Let's get on it, and you better be real objective.
I'd say I'll say last year may not have been as good as their record took advantage. Last year, I don't think they were as good as their record showed, to be honest. I think they took advantage of an easy division. But they did a lot this offseason. I think they're slowly heading in the right direction. Especially in this draft, man, getting Jordan Davis, also snagging the Kobe Dean laid up, and then making a big move for the young alpha dog, A.J. Brown, getting that 4-year, $100 million contract, locking him up with his best friend Jalen Hurts. You gotta love it. And it's funny, man, because A.J. Brown is one of my favorite receivers. Making that trade with the Eagles, one of my favorite teams as well, was phenomenal. Most excited I've been in a long time when that news broke. I could barely stand, I could barely sit, so I ended up on all fours, which is just fine, because to me, being on all fours means I'm in a good spot, and I think the Eagles are also in a good spot.
All right, are you done poo-pooing on the Eagles?
Mm-hmm.
Magical Mystery Tour?
Yeah.
Because I'm about to give you a big dose of reality.
Hit me with it then.
Jalen Hurts has improved.
Yeah.
But he has a lot of room to grow to become elite. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Okay, then. There's no argument here.
You're playing it safe over there, baby.
I took it real PC. I wrote that all out just so I didn't step on any toes or curl anyone's eyebrows.
I'll say this. Realistically, it's hard for me to visualize Jalen Hurts throwing for 4,000 yards. I think he's more of a 3,500, 3,800 type of guy. Mainly, his 3 targets, in my opinion, consolidated targets. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert. Those are the 3 weapons that he's going to be targeting mostly. only 3 guys that I would be targeting mostly. And, I mean, to me, 3,500, dish that out between 3 guys, just fine. I think he's just fine. And, 23 passing touchdowns, 25, I think he's just fine too. So nothing too crazy as a thrower. I think improvements is obviously the biggest thing for Jalen Hurts this year, whether it be slight or anything, man. A huge improvement would make this team a scary playoff team, Super Bowl contender. And ultimately, like you said, it comes down to the improvements of Jalen Hurts and which direction this team will go.
Yeah, I agree with all that. I think that was a very humble opinion. I think this team is going to be, they were run heavy last year, and I think the addition of A.J. Brown will give them more balance. And I think that'll help Jalen Hurts as a quarterback and his stats. Just having that alpha male out there. It looks like in training camp that they have actual love for each other. Like every
day it's big play to AJ Brown, touchdown. He's just dumb. Like the connection just automatically just struck.
Like they want to be 2 dads.
I wouldn't mind being the son in that duo because, to be honest, they're both great looking guys. They're both studs, and I'm very excited to see them play.
But getting back to this offense, I think the offensive line is outstanding.
Is it the best?
I'd say, yeah, probably.
That's a 4 out of 4, baby.
That's a 5-star recruit.
I believe it.
This leads me to my next point. Miles Sanders.
Ouch.
First bold prediction. Breakout career year for Miles Sanders, which isn't saying much. Has he ever broken 1,000 yards?
I believe so. 900 maybe.
Yeah, I think he's going to go well above 1,000.
Interesting.
He's looked sharp. He looks good. He's capable of being.
Yes, he is.
Workhorse. My question to you, as an Eagles enthusiast and fan, is it Miles Sanders' time, or is it still committee by little guys?
No, they're going to work in all their backs. It's just their MO for the Eagles. But Miles Sanders will be the guy. He's going to punish defenses. The O-line's going to let him be efficient. I do think he'll get 200 carries. He's going to be the number 1 back. But the main thing for Sanders I'd like to see is using him mainly as a receiver. Like we've seen the past few years, his ability to catch passes out of the backfield on some wheel routes, flats. He's very good at that. And he's very good in the open space. He's put on some weight to carry a bigger workload. So, yeah, I mean, he's going to be the number 1. But Kenneth Gainwell, in my opinion, is a very good running back. Maybe not very good, but I think he's very underrated, underappreciated. He's going to get a lot of work, too. And I think that's just fine. I mean, every team needs 2 good running backs to stay healthy, to be efficient. Both of them have different strong suits that they can, use to their advantages against other teams. And, but, yeah, Sanders will be the guy. I like your bold prediction of having a career year because it's definitely possible. But Kenneth Gainwell will also be involved.
I've had enough of these half steps. What's the record?
10-7.
10-7.
10-7. I think between the Eagles and the Cowboys, I think both of them will disappoint. I think we kind of have this expectation that both of these teams are going to be, by far and away the 2 best teams in the NFC East. Both of these teams are loaded with talent. Eagles improved. They've done a really good job. I have them going 10-7 ultimately, but I think they will be better than the Cowboys.
Interesting. I have the Eagles going 11-6. They have an easy record. I think, at the end of the day, I think they've built a really, really good team, inside and out. I think bringing A.J. Brown in was like the last piece to the puzzle. I think they have everything outside of that. They brought in James Bradbury, one of the top corners in the league, to pair with Darius Slay. They drafted 2. I'm really high on these rookies. I out of Georgia. I just think they have a well-rounded team, and it takes a lot of, I don't know, do you think the team they built around Jalen Hurts in terms of like Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown and Dallas Goedert, do you think it takes pressure off him or it adds pressure to being the franchise guy? What do you think? Is it a lot of pressure he's feeling right now, or is it kind of...
I think it's neither.
Whoa, that wasn't an answer, Julius.
Yeah, I don't think it applies or takes away. I think it's more of making Hurts comfortable. I think it just adds that extra weapon. I think it's more so of just addressing needs. I mean, Jalen Reagor and Quez Watkins starting probably isn't a good idea. Go ahead and get A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts' best friend. I think it's affordability. Comfortability, rather than more or less pressure.
Interesting. You got any bolts?
Can we talk about the defense?
Please, have at it.
They added Jordan Davis, Fletcher Cox, Javon Hargrave, solid. Bringing in Hassan Reddick, I think, is a very underrated move because this team kind of struggled last year getting after the quarterback. I think they were 31st in sacks, if I'm not mistaken. But Hassan Reddick is a really good pass rusher to pair him up with Derek Barnett, Josh Sweat, and Brandon Graham. I mean, that's a pretty solid depth at the edge. I like the addition of Kaiser White out of the Chargers, a young linebacker. He's going to come in and be, that tackle machine. Hopefully Nakobe Dean can be healthy and be the first-round talent that he was projected to be. And, the secondary had always been the weakness for the Eagles. They get destroyed through the air in the past. But I think James Bradbury and Darius Slay, the tandem of those two, I know they're in the latter half of their careers, but, that tandem right there is pretty spectacular. That's tough. Bradbury has been a number one, shutdown corner from Carolina. Even with the Giants the past few years, he's a guy you put on their alpha. So you pair him with Slay, another
big play Slay,
a playmaker out there. That's two number one corners on the same team, so it's going to be hard to pick where you're throwing at. But the trouble I'm having is their safety position. I wish they could address that. Maybe go out and get Jesse Bates. I know Anthony Harris had a great season in Minnesota, but he kind of underperformed last year. He had injuries. Marcus Epps isn't really that guy. So other than that, overall, very solid team. Definitely excited. If you're an Eagles fan, you had to be excited and looking forward to it.
Sorry, man. I just ripped stash.
I heard it, man. I wish I didn't.
You got any bolds?
Yeah, Jalen Hurts goes for 4,000 yards and 100 yards rushing.
100 yards rushing?
4,000 passing yards, 1,000 rushing yards.
I was about to say, dude, that's the least bold thing you've ever said.
He and Lamar Jackson are the only quarterbacks to do it.
I like it, and I think that's very plausible.
Do you believe in that one?
I could definitely believe in that one.
I believe in it.
I'm a betting man.
That's not even bold, man. That's reality.
What a lucky man she was.
Pardon?
You never heard that song?
Were you talking to me?
No, I was singing.
Oh, okay.
One of my bold predictions is Nakobe Dean and Jordan Davis finish 1 and 2 in Defensive Rookie of the Year voting.
Saucy.
They both have a big impact.
Salsa.
But I think at the end of the day, Nakobe Dean wins Rookie of the Year.
Whoa.
Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Interesting. I
think he's got that ball skill.
He's little, but he's a good player. Yeah, smart.
You know what they said about Spud Webb?
That he wasn't very good.
Yeah, you'll never touch that rim.
He was only relevant because he dunked.
Yeah, he actually stunk butt.
I don't think he was very good.
You have another bold prediction?
Yeah, Jordan Davis becomes the first man in NFL history. I'm not going to say that one.
Which one?
I want to do something with Jordan Davis because he's a freak.
I've got one.
Jordan Davis. All right, go ahead.
Jordan Davis has snack incentives instead of money incentives in his contract. So if he gets a snack, he gets a PB&J and some goldfish.
It's pretty funny.
Because he's like childlike to me. Like he's such a sweet.
He said he reminded you of the guy off the Longest Yard.
Yeah, like huge man, but like was a kid.
Yeah.
That's exactly what Jordan. I'm sure he's a very intelligent.
Yeah.
He just reminds me of that guy. So it's like after the game, he's like, "Where's my PB&Js? I get 2 sacks."
I like the clip of him singing in front of the.
He's
how
good.
they make the rookies sing.
Yeah,
It's pretty funny.
He's good.
Yeah, he's funny.
Yeah.
I'm so excited that Jordan Davis is on the Eagles. He's such a interesting monster.
He's gonna be a ball player.
He's literally like Darnell Dockett, like on steroids.
Darnell Dockett is a scary man.
He was super scary for the Cardinals.
Gosh. But he was like scary, like I think off the field too.
Like kill your family.
Yeah. Jordan Davis, like I'd ask him to come have dinner.
Yeah, but I mean, I wouldn't want to be a center.
I'd ask him to come sleep over.
You saw what he did to Cam Jurgens.
Yeah, but he hates that clip. Jordan does.
Why?
Because he said that's the one time it's not fair to Cam Jurgens because Jurgens been beating them all training camp, and that they got that one clip.
I like that.
He's a humble giant, man.
Humble.
I just want to give him a big kiss.
I'd kiss him.
I would hug him.
Yeah, he's just. I want to see him in person.
I want to see him.
I just want to be like sitting in the stands of like a high school basketball gym and just see Jordan Davis walk in. Because like a basketball gym's small enough so you can like understand what's going on.
It's intimate.
And he just walks in. You're like, oh my gosh, that's a human, or is that a King Kong?
It might be both.
Yeah, he probably had to get one of them airplanes on him.
Do you have anything else on the Eags?
Yeah.
What is it? You're just making it up. You're just making it up right now, ladies.
Is this not like one of the best rosters in football?
On paper, I would say so.
Yeah. This is incredible.
That's all you want to say? You just want to toot your own horn?
I look at the roster, I get excited. But at the end of
Be careful.
I think, yeah, that's why
Be cautious.
I said the Eagles and Cowboys will both disappoint. I believe that, man. I don't know. It's just always something. There's always something.
There's an old saying that goes, "Don't eat the yellow snow, but try the brown."
Well, I've tried both, man. I'm not ashamed of it. I'll do it again. Shoot.
That's what I like about you, Luke. You like to try new experiences in life, whether it be very bad for your health.
Where does Dallas Goedert rank amongst tight ends?
I don't. Top 10?
Is he elite?
I think he's borderline. Not borderline. He's further away from borderline than I think a lot of people.
Would you rather have him or Dalton Schultz in real life?
In real life? Goddard.
Would you rather have Goddard or TJ Hawkinson?
Hawkinson.
Okay. That's fair.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Goddard.
Why not?
I think I'm thinking fantasy. I'm just not a big fan of him.
Oh, why?
I don't think they're going to throw that much. They have A.J. Brown, who I think is going to be uber targeted.
What about Devonta?
I love him, but I don't know.
So the only person that's going to eat is A.J. Brown. No one else is going to eat.
In fantasy?
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown and Miles Sanders.
Someone else has got to eat, whether it be Smith or Goddard.
What does eat mean, though? Like, you can start them?
Be good, really.
I hope it's Devontae Smith, but I'm not.
I think it's Goddard. I think people are sleeping on Goddard.
I'm not drafting him.
Why?
I don't want him.
Would you draft him or Dawson Knox?
Goddard.
Goddard or Ertz?
Goddard.
Okay, and you like him just as much as anyone else.
Like I said, he's like a borderline. Like he's good. He's a good. Like I don't know. I just don't want him on my team.
That's fair. Eagles play Detroit week 1 at Detroit. Who wins?
Eagles.
Minnesota at home. I thought about this one too, but they always play Minnesota really well in the past.
Minnesota.
Washington at Washington.
Eagles.
Jacksonville.
Win.
Arizona.
Win.
They beat Arizona?
Yeah.
Dallas.
Win.
Pittsburgh.
Win.
Houston.
Win.
Washington.
Win.
Indianapolis.
Lose.
Green Bay.
Lose.
Tennessee.
Where is it?
At home. Philly.
Win.
At the Giants.
Lose.
At Chicago.
Win.
At Dallas.
Lose.
At home versus Saints.
Win.
At home versus the Giants.
Lose.
All right, 11-6.
Yeah.
You're pretty good at that, huh?
I was doing the math as you were going.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. There's some that I don't think they'll win at the beginning when I went on a win streak for them.
Yeah,
I think they'll win both the games of the Giants.
You had them beating Arizona, which is tough.
You never said
It's at Arizona.
It'd be tough, but I think they can win.
You had them going like 5-0.
Yeah, they just are good. They're good. They're a good team.
Are you in on them?
I'm in.
Are they Super Bowl contenders?
I wouldn't go that far.
Why not?
Jalen Hurts isn't that guy for me yet.
So far, we've done the NFC North and the NFC East. What record did you have the Packers? They 11? No, they were 10-7, I believe.
Let me check my inventory. Yeah, I had them 10-7.
So you have the Eagles above them.
Mainly.
I'm sailing.
Vikings are 11-6.
I got sailing in my shorts. You really do, huh?
Yeah.
Wow, that's soaking into me now.
Dude, have you ever rode a Segway without pants?
I've never actually ridden a Segway.
Neither have I.
You want to go?
No.
Me neither.
That's good. I'm on the same page.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah, man.
If God was talking to you in your head, you just got off of work, he said, son, you've got 1 hour to prepare yourself for an apocalypse, what would you do in that hour?
I would make sure the people I care about know what's going on. I doubt anyone would listen to me. For example, my family, my significant other. I doubt anyone would follow me to wherever I'm going. So I would just
Would you take it on your own shoulders to...
I think I would make amends to those I've hurt, and then I make peace and just go. Because if no one believes me, I don't want to live by myself.
So you would just stick around with them?
Yeah, I'd probably play some, Jenga.
Interesting.
I'll probably make one last podcast before I go.
Why wouldn't anyone listen to you, though?
Because if I came around and I was like, hey, the world's going to end in an hour, we got to go. Everyone would be like, what are you talking about? Who told you? I'd be like, I heard God in my head. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, would you believe me?
Yeah.
What would I have to do? Would I have to cut my wrist and black my eyes?
No, see, because that's what I think you can tell people's true intentions.
Yeah, but...
Like, if you were to tell me that, I could tell by your behavior, how you're acting, that it's something's going on.
Yeah, but what if
And like, even if like all I have to do is follow you and listen to you for an hour to really to know if it's true or not.
We'd have to leave right as I tell you.
Which is fine.
Where are we gonna go in an hour to get out?
That's what I'm asking you. What would you do?
I'd probably go into this. I think there's a sewer in the street, and I'd go in there and run into the tunnels.
Go as deep as you can go?
Yeah, I'd take what I needed and go.
There's poop and pee?
There's not poop and pee in sewer.
In the sewer?
No.
I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to survive, but what if I was going through like a psychosis and I was just speaking madly and you just thought I had a mental break and you're like, okay, well, let's take you to the hospital. I think you guys would 5150 me and make me go to the mental hospital.
It would be hard to, to tell someone, hey, the world's ending in an hour, and like getting someone to believe you, but I mean, if you're panicking and like frantically like gathering stuff and telling us like we gotta go, and I mean, I would listen. I would get anyone that I can to listen.
Let me give you this scenario. What if I was wearing...
But I mean, to go to the sewer would be difficult, but...
I mean, where else would we go? That's like the best shot we have.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea, actually.
I just came up with it, but, there's an underground tunnel system. We might get to, like, the elite bunker. I don't know.
That's true. We could bear crawl.
We don't know what's down there, Luke.
No?
There could be... sewers are always, like, put down. Like you said, you think there's poop and pee in there. I don't think there is. I think there's treasure.
That's true. Maybe that's the...
I think there's leprechaun juice. I think there's unicorns. I think there's a lot of beautiful things in sewers. But they tell you that gross stuff so you don't go in there.
Right. That makes sense.
You ever heard of the Ninja Turtles?
Yeah.
Where'd they live?
Portland?
The sewer.
Just like your dad.
The rat dog?
The little rat man.
Yeah, dude, that guy would beat your butt.
I would just be telling everyone to eat shrimp.
Thank you guys for listening to another episode of Forget What You Heard. As always, we love you guys. Thank you so much for the support. You know where to hit us up now. Our email is forgetwhatyouheardpodcast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you guys. I hope you guys have a beautiful week and enjoy the episode. Peace, love, and happiness.